So we're here on the front stretch here at the Land of Legends with Kane Bristol. And Kane, you've been racing here for a good number of years here at Canandaigua, but I know your racing career started long before Canandaigua here. Tell us about how you got started in racing.
It didn't start too much longer before Canandaigua. My father, probably in his mid-40s, decided that he was going to start racing. And, I'd come and watch here many times as a kid with him and really enjoyed it. And so I was there every single night when he started. He started in a pro truck at Canandaigua, or Black Rock, and ran that for a couple of years, and then got into the 358 modifieds. And through that time period, I purchased a street stock and started racing out there in 2005 or 6. And I think I actually had a couple starts in a pro truck that was my uncle's. It was very addicting after that. Once you sit in the seat and you get around the track a couple times, then you're pretty much hooked for life if it's going fairly well.
What was your first impressions coming around here? I mean, this place is big, sweeper. For somebody that may not have been on this big a styled track before, what was that like?
That was a big change from only racing at Black Rock, and I only raced at Black Rock in a street stock, and then I took over. My father had the 358, so we started here in the Sportsman, and so it was a huge change, changing cars, changing track that was a lot bigger and carried a lot more speed, so it took a little bit of time to adapt that, and you're obviously coming here to race with the best of the best, all throughout history in the Sportsman class and the modified class and all the classes actually. So it was definitely a little bit of a learning curve there.
Talk about that learning curve, because you're right, there's so many guys that have had so much success here just in your division. What is it like coming in as the new guy, trying to learn the ropes, and then eventually, before long, you're neck and neck with those guys?
I think the key at the beginning is to try not to get in anybody's way and hold your line and not do anything that's going to create any melee for anybody else, and just try to learn every week, even if it's running at the back of the pack, and do your best to stay away from the people who are competing for the win and not cause problems. So after time, you pick all that up, and then it hopefully becomes second nature, going around this track with those guys.
What was that first Canandaigua win like?
I think we'd raced maybe 4 years here in the Sportsman, and so it was a long time. It was a lot of tough starts, a lot of learning stuff the hard way on those cars, because I'd never raced a Sportsman or know anything about a modified or any of that. So that first win was, I can remember it, like it was yesterday. Just crossing that line, I was ecstatic. That was a dream of mine, just to be able to race here, and then on top of that, to get a win in the Sportsman was, dreams come true.
Go back to 2019, and you guys are just a ball of fire. You come out almost every week, and I'll lump 2020 into, you guys are fast right off the trailer. We fans probably think we're playing a broken record. Guys like Kane Bristol, guys like Kevin Ridley, guys like Matt Guerry, Zach Sabaka, that are always up on top of the charts right off of the trailer. What do you attribute that to?
I've always thought that that's a good time to get a baseline on your cars. If you can go out and run that thing, that's the fastest that's going to be able to go all night. Yeah. If you can get a good baseline of what that feels like, and then obviously you're working down from that, you know you're in a good spot. So that was always my thought process. I know you can't win in hot laps or anything, but it's good to get out there and get a feel for the thing at full song.
You had quite a battle that season with Kevin Root for the points, and not just points, but even some of our special events. It was always you guys back and forth. You guys picked up some wins, picked up a win there in that fall race. What was that season like, and was that the best season that you guys have had so far?
That definitely was our best season, and I think a lot of people were in transition between the torsion bar setups and the coilover setups and figuring that stuff out, and we were on stuff that we knew for so long, and a lot of it comes mentally, for me probably, coming out opening night that year and winning. I think just getting that momentum and carrying that throughout the season was a big part of it, you know. And I was just happy to be in the same conversation as guys like Kevin Root. So,
what was, because, you know, guys in the pits talked about how, you know, you guys were one of the few that stuck with bars for a while. I'm reminded of this because I just saw Steve Payne on Tuesday night win at Outlaw with another series, and he said, I couldn't figure them coils out. I'm staying with bars because it's what I know. Talk us through that part of it for you guys.
and that's part of the reason, you know, we had talked about it on that 2018 off season. You know, do we make the transition? A lot of people are making the transition, and we decided let's just stay. We're comfortable with this. We've got a routine down, and that's a big part of it. You know, checking your points off in the shop every week and going through that routine and coming back with a reliable piece of equipment. And you know, the foreign stuff, you got to be on top of that. But at that point, we decided, well, let's just stay with that, and that even flowed a little bit into last year, where we kind of stayed with that, and then we transitioned away from it. But there's a lot to be said about something you're comfortable with. You know, it goes to mentally and, you know, physically, everything goes to that car. If you're comfortable with it, it's going to work. You know.
2019 to 2020, little bit different seasons. It seemed like the bad luck bug. You talked about making that transition. It was a little bit of a different season for you guys. What was that like? How do you guys stay focused in a season when you come off of what you guys did in 19? How do you guys work through that?
That was a tough season, and you probably look back statistically, and it still wasn't, you know, by far, it probably was my second or third best season along the line, and we would have been happy with it any other season. But coming off of that high bar, you know, in racing, you want to do better every single time, do better. So, you know, we had our head set on doing better, and then kind of got a little bit of a wake-up call. You know, a lot of guys stepped up their game. There were a lot more cars here, and they had their stuff figured out, and we were kind of staying what we were comfortable with, and in a transitional period that probably hurt us a little bit in the long run. And you know, we had some consistent finishes, and we're still up there racing with, you know, the top guys, but not as much as we would have liked.
Got a brand new car this year, which I found funny talking to you in the pit area was, well, that really wasn't part of the plan, but it kind of came to fruition.
Yeah, at the end of the season, and I believe actually Tommy Curtis might have to set that all up. He had talked to Tim Lafler, and Tim Lafler was like, I'm looking for one of these cars that are ready to go, because I don't know a whole lot about them. And he mentioned our name, even though our car wasn't really for sale. We were set on just people we had, maybe upgrading the suspension and trying to figure that out. And he called up and said, you know, put a number on. I watch you guys race every week. I like your car. I think I want this if we can make this happen. So we did. It was kind of a shock to the system at the end of the year. We missed out on the October Fast Show because of it, and decided, I guess, well, this is as good a time as any. Let's upgrade everything because the price was right and everything fell into place. So that's how it happened.
That's got to feel good for you guys too, knowing that when somebody says, I'm looking for a quality ride that, you know, the driver and the crew take care of, somebody pointed to you guys, and you know, your dad picked up Crew Chief of the Year award here a couple seasons ago. So all of that together, it's got to mean a lot for your whole team.
Yeah, that says a lot. You know, over the years, you find out how much goes into this, and then you don't skip a step. You know, you've got a routine, the whole team, everybody's got a job, and you're doing everything you can to check every nut and bolt on that car every week and keep it in one piece, and come back the next week and have some more fun. So it was a nice compliment to have Tim come up and offer to buy it, and obviously it helped us out in purchasing the new car and moving on to this season.
Last week, we're airing this on Saturday. Last week, man, the heat race, that car looked flawless. Little trouble in the feature, but what was your impressions of the new piece so far?
Yeah, we came to practice, and it was a little bit off. I made some adjustments. You know, we talked to Mike Payne regularly, and he kind of helped us out with making my mind up for me. I've got a couple things in, that we plan, and then we get back where we need to be with him. So, yeah, we made the changes, and then right out of the gate in the hot laps and the heat race, it felt really good. So, I was happy for that and had good confidence going into the feature, although I did draw 12, and then we just had a left front shock mount brake. So, just I don't know if it took a rock or what, but it was just a freak thing that put us out. But still have confidence moving on from this that we have a good piece of equipment.
Looking at the rest of this season, what's our goals for the year? Do you quantify that, or do you just take it week by week?
With everybody that races here, that it's the top of the heap as far as the sportsman competition. If we're up there fighting for a top 5 on a regular basis, I'd be happy with that. And the same, if we can finish top 3 in the points, that'd be good. Obviously, we put ourselves off to a hard start, but and get some wins out of it, and not tear up a lot of equipment, and have fun every week while we're still maintaining that.
Awesome. One thing that fans might not know about you that you do outside of the racetrack. We all love coming here on Saturday nights, but what is a hobby or something that you do to keep yourself busy outside of racing and working on the car?
I've got a ton of hobbies. My wife will probably be the first one to attest to that. Got a 6-year-old daughter, so that's priority number 1 when I'm away from the racetrack, and we're going fishing and hunting and stuff, so I do all the outdoor stuff that I can. And work keeps me pretty busy as a construction project manager, so finding the time to do this is a blessing.
Awesome, man. Well, it's a lot of fun to watch you do your thing on Saturday nights, and I'll wrap it up with, we're doing this interview. We're trying to let more of our fans get to know our drivers here on Land of Legends TV. The free streaming this season, some of the investments that Paul's made into doing some of this stuff. What is that? Give me your perspective as a driver, as a team that comes here and supports the track every week to see what's happening there. And I've asked some drivers, I said, do drivers talk to each other about this stuff? Or do you and, the family at home or family from far away watching? What is your guys' take on all that?
It's definitely Paul puts together a complete package, and that's what it takes, I think, to run a successful racetrack. Get the fans, get the drivers, get the surface. If you can put all that together and keep every one of them pieces of the puzzle happy, then it's going to be successful, and I think Paul's definitely done that. It's great to see all the improvements with the social media and everything, and keeps everybody coming back and interested, even if they can't be here, and that's been a big, especially last year with all the COVID issues. That was a great thing to be able to have family tuning in, and a lot of people that wouldn't have tuned in originally to begin with because they're not anywhere around here. So it's good to be able to share this outlet with a lot of people that aren't familiar with it, and I commend Paul for everything that he's done with this place.